This video is made for adult collectors because this toy literally drew blood so close to my bones.
I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me. But let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff.
I absolutely love Transformers Prime. It's my favorite piece of Transformers media, and I dig most of the designs. Most. When this got announced, I had to have it. It's just, look at how beautiful this is. This is Iron Warrior's Transformers Prime Optimus, and it's the most accurate thing I have ever seen in relation to Transformers Prime. Look at it. Having something that looks this good and is my favorite Optimus Prime design is just amazing. This was sent to me by TF Safari, incoming sponsor thingy. TF Safari is a shop with loads of third-party and knockoff stuff and sometimes official things, and they have so many cool items on there right now. They have this guy now, and the black version, so if you want a more traditional Nemesis variant of it, you can get that. Hoping that Iron Warrior, though, does like a regular Nemesis and the rest of their planned toys, that would be really cool. And if you use code THATTOYGUYSPECIAL 3% off, yeah, you can save a couple dollars off anything on the site, which is pretty good. And this guy ain't badly priced either, so definitely go check them out. Links in the description down below. Thank you very much for sponsoring the video. Now back to the actual toy. This thing is breathtaking. But does it feel breathtaking? Mostly. There are some places where the plastic does feel very thin, mainly the bits on the back of the legs and the ear horn thingies, but a vast majority of it is pretty solid. The paintwork is very clean on this guy. The metallic silver parts, I don't know if this is intentional or not, but it does look like it's scratched up metal just due to the type of paint they used. Granted, in some spots it does look like a bit hairy. It's the best way I can describe it. And these die-cast butt flaps kept falling out of their ports, so I had to glue them back into place. The chest windows are also packed separately, and I've glued them on because they kept falling out. But this thing is gloriously big and hefty. His joints are a tad springy feeling when you pick him up, but it is by no means brittle or funky in motion. I love how there is battle damage, but it's not overboard. It's just enough to make it look like something that it could exist in the real physical space, if that makes sense. The battle damage is also kept mostly to the raised panel areas, so it helps define those panels a little bit more, and the metallic paint used for his colors really make it look like the metal has started coming off across the sky. He does have LEDs in his eyes, and it seems the batteries have died on mine. God damn it. That's what happens when this thing's been sitting around for so long. Actually, about that, for those who've been following me on social media, you will have seen this for months now. Why am I just getting to a video on it? Well, TF Safari sent this to me, and in transit from them to me, it's sold out on their website. And so they very kindly asked me to wait to make a video on it till it was back in stock because there's a second production run on the way. But I'm so glad I'm able to talk about it now because there's so much this thing can do. He comes with a lot of extra stuff. An extra unmasked face, we're gonna pretend that's there and I didn't lose it. Guns, gun clip thingies, arm blades, normal Star Saber, energized Star Saber, and a scabbard. The Star Saber is actually sharp too. It went straight through my pinky finger and just missed the bone. So please be careful with this thing. I'm not showing the picture because of the blood, but that did happen. The way everything plugs into him is you take his hands off and slide everything over into place. But the Star Saber does something I kind of wish more toys would follow when it comes to swords or like heavy axes and things. He doesn't hold the handle. The handles are swappable on each sword, and there is a molded hand on one of the handles. Granted, that means you can't make him a lefty, but it means the sword, no matter what blade you use, is not going to fall out of his hand, and I love that. It means you can pose him with a sword not falling out every 5 seconds. That's just brilliant. I also love the fact that they threw in both blades in a standard release. Having a blue blade and a silver one feels like a special edition type release, but no, the standard one gets it. I dig that. The guns are painted quite nicely with the blue and the luscious silver, and the arm blades are very nicely layered, though I wish there was a broken one included. Maybe with their Megatron later on down the line, they can include a broken blade for Prime so you can recreate that fight. Now, the main event of this robot is how absolutely good it looks in posing. So here's a longer than normal posing montage for you and me to enjoy.
Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent.
Now this has to be one of the most articulated figures I own, apart from like, say, maybe MDLX Optimus. It's insane. There's a lot of stuff going on in here. And there's a lot of other extra bits in the accessories, which I'll talk about later. But for starters, the head is on, the head is on a double ball joint. So you have quite the range, but as you can hear, a little squeaky. You can look up that far, you can look down that far. You got tilt and all that sort of stuff. You're doing the splits. The arms can do a full 360 degrees, though the mirrors do kind of bump into these a little bit. They kind of click around these, so I wouldn't do a full 360. You don't really need to do one anyways, but like, just be careful with that. The shoulder pads can move out to accommodate the arm, which can go out that far. You do have bicep rotation. You have double jointed elbows. You have forearm articulation. You have wrist articulation. You have the wrist can hinge in and out as well. And then the thumb is on 2 pinned joints and a swivel, and then each finger is on 2 pinned joints, so you can do that. Now the torso is where a lot of the cool surprises come from. So he has butterfly joints, and when you move them, it moves in segments. That's really cool. And you can see all of the inner workings in there underneath all of the torso sculpting. That's pretty sick. I like the way that looks. And I love how it's a segmented, it's a 2-piece motion. And the detail on here is insane. And then you have the torso itself, which has side to side up here. So you can see, like, this chest piece stays and this moves. That looks really cool. I like that. It makes it look a little bit more animated, because in animation, these parts and things, they would stay so that like this like works. And then you have an ab crunch that crunches that far forward. Unfortunately, it doesn't do the 3-0 back detail thing, which I kind of wish it did, but no well. And then it can go back that far, and you have a waist joint. So that's quite a lot of articulation just in, I knocked the shoulder pad off. These I need to glue on still, because they come, I believe they come packed separately as well, so I need to glue those on. But that is the torso. Now the legs. The hips can go forward that far, they can go back that far, but they're also on drop down hips, so they can actually go that far forward and that far back. You do have in and out. You have an upper thigh rotation, which sounds like ass. You have double jointed knees, which also sound like ass. They look a bit plain too, but that's how the knees look in the show, kind of, so I'm okay with that. And then the feet. The ankles can go down, they can go up, they can go ankle tilt side to side. These can open to allow for a little bit more ankle tilt. And you have a toe bend that goes that far. So there is quite amount of posing there. This little bit is on a slightly softer material, so it can flex and move around and stuff. It's made out of a different plastic. It's not gonna snap, but it is something you might wanna be a little bit careful of. And the wheels don't turn. I kinda wish they did, even though that would be kinda useless. But that is his articulation. He can do quite a lot of stuff, which is impressive. Especially if you compare him next to like 3-0 DLX Prime. He can do a lot more than DLX Prime for a little bit cheaper, and he comes with so much stuff. Now, the guns here, these are technically 2 separate components. So you have these two, you gotta plug them together. So the cannons can rotate on the hand if that's something that you really want. And this hand right here only has a wrist swivel. The fingers don't open and close because it is, you know, attached to the sword. But that is it, yeah. He is fantastic. Yes, I highly recommend buying this. Yeah, it doesn't transform, but the design doesn't really work as a transformer without looking like this or this. These round arm panels and the round blue sections on the legs don't exist on the physical truck, and it would be extremely difficult and extremely expensive to make a transforming toy of this design at this scale and this level of accuracy. This thing is such a treat to hold, look at, pose around. I highly recommend it. It has been living on this Optimus Prime shelf for ages, and it looks awesome. And as I said, the price ain't that bad either, and it comes in black. So that's been my look at Iron Warriors Optimus Prime. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.